So to start with Sentry360, we're an American-made IP camera manufacturer, and we're located in the Chicago, Illinois area. Back in 2004 is when we were founded, and really what we're trying to create there is a simple yet diverse product line, meaning we cover everything as far as the project type base goes with our various types of cameras like you see on there. For that first line is going to be the FullSight line or the panoramic cameras. So you see on the top left would be the 180 series. So we have 4, 8, and 12 megapixel for the 180. And then on the right would be the 360 with a 3, 5, 10, and 14 model. In the middle, you can see the Insight Dome camera series, which we'd have in our day-to-day type of cameras with the 2, 3, and 5 megapixel. And then you can see on there there's a 1 PTZ as well. And then on the right would be the Insight Professional camera series. Those would be more so for your facial recognition, parking lots, license plates, stuff like that, stadiums as well with a 5, 10, and 14. Okay, then moving on to the bottom there, you see the sentryEdge. That's our first non-camera product. So what that is right there is the server, switch, and storage all in one unit for an NVR. Like you can see in the bottom left there is the Mini, the 8-port. And then you can see on the right would be the 16 or 24 port series. And like you can see there's a range in storage options between 1 and 12 terabytes. But the main item to take away from here would be that it's a Windows-based operating system. So that way you can put on any type of VMS that's going to be Windows-based. Okay? And then along with that is that it's over-specified hardware, so it's easy scalable for small to mid-sized projects. And what you'd be able to do then is if it's, you know, a 20 camera project right now, but you might be able to scale up later on, you know, you could use the system right now and then throw on another switch a little bit later and then, you know, be able to scale up to about 50 cameras or so on that one. Okay. Moving on to the Insight product line. So those would be resolutions like you see on there from 2 to 14 megapixels. And then obviously that's the form factor for the 5, 10, and 14. And then we have the different various housings to make it outside rated and whatnot. But these are some of the stills that we have off of it. So this is a 14 megapixel camera that you see here with a 25 millimeter lens. And this screenshot we're going to be able to zoom in and see about 200 to 400 feet away or so. And really what we're able to do with that picture then is like you can see on here, zoom in, see these license plates of these cars from that various in range. But the one thing that we like to take away from here is that it's a digital zoom, which allows us to record that whole image of the square that you see there. Zoom in and get that real detail, but it's recording that whole image. So that way 2, 3, 5 days, whatever you're recording, you can go back and still zoom around in that image and not lose any of the detail like you would with the PTZ. Okay, so let me show you some of that footage right here that we have recorded. So this would be a gas station image that we have. And then in the background what you can see there is that that's a 40-mile-an-hour zone. And this is about 400 feet away or so. And what we do is we can zoom in, see the complete image right there. And we zoom in, obviously we can see the people a little bit, read the name of the business and the phone number on that van right there. But also we'd like to point out is that there's no ghosting. Okay, so even with that high detail right there, we're still able to, you know, again, it's a 40-mile-an-hour zone or so, 40 to 50-mile-an-hour zone, about 400 feet away or so, and then we're still able to get that high image with a clear image as well. And then obviously, like I was saying before, it records that whole image, so we can zoom out, look around, see everything that we need to in that image, and get all the complete detail. All right, so on to the FullSight product line. This would be for our 360 and 180-degree technology right there. And again, this is the box image that you see for the 10 and the 14 megapixel 360, as well as the 12 megapixel 180-degree camera. And what we do is a single lens and single sensor on all of our panoramic cameras. And the way that we're different then is that we do client-side dewarping. Okay? So as far as dewarping goes, starting off with the basic then, we record that whole image that you see right there, for that super wide angle view, and then we flatten that out or dewarp it to where you get that traditional viewpoint. Okay. Now the way that we're different is that we do the dewarping on the client side. And the reason why this is important then is that what we're able to do is keep the immersive image with that fisheye view like you see right there. We record that, send that whole image over to the VMS, and then it breaks down to give you these different types of viewpoints. But with the immersive imaging, we're able to keep it as a digital PTZ type of view. So let me show you that. So again, this is the fisheye view that's recorded. And then what we're able to do is dewarp that image after the fact with the client-side dewarping, and we're still able to keep this movement around then. So it's not a couple different lenses and sensors put together on there and stitched together. It's one view and then dewarped later in the client side. So we're able to do this live or recorded, which gives us a clear advantage because obviously with a 360-degree camera, maybe you're not certain exactly what needs to be done, but with this, you capture that whole image and then you still have this as far as the panoramic view where we can smooth everything around later on. Whereas a lot of the other cameras, they can't provide that image for you. And then with the 180, this is an image from the 8 megapixel 180 camera then. And this actually doesn't have any dewarping. This is just a super wide angle lens, so it's easy to use. And then obviously it's a good image right here for outside, a lot of coverage areas to get, you know, an extended amount of parking lot, really get that overall viewpoint. Then for our integration partners, we're always updating that as far as the list goes on there, but what you'll see is the major players in the game then. Obviously you see like Milestone, Exact, Genetech on there, and so on and so forth, and we're always building to integrate more. We're on VIF Profile as compliant with all of our gear, but then with our integration partners, this is who we're integrating that special dewarping as far as the 360 goes in there. Lastly, with the CTA project right here, this is one notable project that we like to kind of reference to. Obviously, Chicago is in our backyard right here, and there's a lot of different obstacles that took place as far as the CTA goes, mainly due to the environment in the area and whatnot. But really what we want to dive into here is the camera side for it, right? So this is the original idea that the CTA had propositioned. And the first thing that I notice on there is there's a lot of blind spots, right? There's 4 cameras on each side, as you see. And obviously with those little analog cameras right there, a lot of space being taken up physically in that area, but then also with the directional for it, it's really hard to get all the different areas that they needed on there. And as far as numbers go, obviously you see the 720p cameras, 800 cars, 8 cameras per car. There's a lot of streams of data being sent over there. There's just a lot going on, right? So as far as what we were able to do then, we put one 360 camera on each side of the train, and those are 3 megapixels, and we're able to eliminate all the blind spots right away. Okay? So as far as the number point of view goes then, so 3 megapixel 360s, 2 in each car. Obviously, we reduced a lot of the camera count right there, which is one of our specialties then, is able to reduce the number of cameras in general, which is going to reduce the cost of installation like you see right there, as well as the bandwidth and storage. Okay, to kind of summarize that then for you guys, the first thing, the most important thing from the security surveillance point of view is elimination of blind spots, so you get that complete coverage. The increased resolution because they went from analog to IP. And then as far as the image goes in general, it looks a lot better. It looks a lot cleaner to have 2 cameras up there instead of 8. Right? And as far as the crime reduction to date on there, these are the numbers that they actually gave us. So you guys can see that as far as theft down, robbery down, aggravated battery down, and then obviously the reduction in graffiti and vandals because of that special way they do the dewarping on there. So they have the cameras up there, they see all the different angles, they can see what's going on in that image, and then they can see it as far as, okay, there's a graffiti stain right here, they can notice that, they can go back, look at the video after the fact, move the camera around as far as that immersive imaging like I was showing earlier, and see all the different angles. and then go and find that person after the fact. Okay, we've actually been on the news two times in the last 2 years or so, as far as our cameras go, along with the CTA for the protection on there. So it's definitely recognized a lot in our area. All right. That really sums up the product overview and just a quick little webinar that we had today that we scheduled for. If any questions or anything like that as far as the gear goes, the different technology, the different cameras that we have, all that good stuff, please feel free to reach out. But otherwise, these few right here, I'll be handling directly after the call. All right, thank you guys, and you guys have a good day.